Ah, yes, the old school classics, all wood and metal, no polymer. These rifles were used to storm the beaches of Normandy. At least the real versions were all made on polymer. But how do they hold up in airsoft? Especially when the majority of airsofters use modern weapons like the AR as the go-to rifle. Now, what I have for you is some Normandy airsoft gameplay that I was in. Obviously, I was using modern rifles here as I didn't want to use my Kar 98. I didn't want to storm the beaches of Normandy with a bolt action. That just seemed like a bad idea. But I am going to break it down for you right off the bat. Just like everything else in airsoft, the brand matters as that affects the quality and performance. The problem with the World War II and the World War I stuff is they are so obscure. There's not a lot of them. There is a decent amount available on the market, so don't worry, you can definitely get your hands on one. The whole part is getting a good one. You see, it's not like the AR or the AK, where everyone produces a build of their own, giving you a massive variety to pick from. Take the Kar 98K, for instance. There's about 7 on the market, and that's it. Ares did recently just come out with one, though, not too long ago, that is really good quality. It is pricey, but it does have the clip. The one I have has a magazine. Those has the clip and is like all metal and has good FPS and everything. So that Ares has a good one. I'll give Ares that. It does seem solid. But that's all your options for the Kar 98. There's not a lot of variety. This companies don't have to make them good out of the box and can actually make them poor quality. This is because there's no competition for them, as companies just don't produce World War II stuff regularly. Players will still purchase one, even if the quality isn't the best, just because they want a replica. That's exactly why I have a Snow Wolf Kar 98. It does lack in performance, but it's still very affordable. I also have a custom Sterling that's built into a Star Wars blaster. The performance is actually decent on the Sterling. Some of the World War II stuff are not completely accurate to real counterpart like the modern ones. Like I said, my Kar 98 uses magazines instead of clips. The mag goes in the bottom of it. It would be cool if it had clips, but then it would be an open bolt system, and it wouldn't have much room for the spring. It would be kind of like the Striker that I have that uses AEG springs instead of sniper springs. The World War II stuff can also be really weird at times, as this is when the military was still testing out full auto variants. So the magazines are sometimes in very odd places, like the Sterling. It has it on the side instead of underneath, like most AEGs you'd have. Keep in mind, it can be extremely hard to upgrade these replicas as well, as they have custom parts sometimes. Attachments are also not an option, having 0 rails anywhere. Red dots were not invented at this time, so there was no reason to have a rail system, and scopes were very rare. Pretty much nobody got a scope. They usually were just drilled into the rifle if it was lucky enough to get one. You can definitely still use iron sights on these perfectly fine. The iron sights are actually not too bad on most of these, they work pretty well. Let's say you pick one up and it shoots around 350 FPS, which is on average for AG. Can you reasonably engage players with modern weapons and still have a good time? Yes, you definitely can. It would be the equivalent of somebody running their AR with no attachments. Definitely don't plan on sharing ammo between your teammates, though, because your magazines are a thing of the past. They don't exist anymore. I've had that happen where it was with my P90. I've used like the P90, and a teammate would try to hand me an M4 mag. Like, here, use this M4 magazine. You're out of ammo. Here you go. Yeah, if I used a regular AG like everybody else, that would work. But the thing with using a classic World War II weapon is it also gets noticed. It will very much make you stand out from the rest of the field having something extremely unique. It's also fun to just run something different from everyone else. The stuff everyone uses is kind of nothing special because everybody has it. I mean, everybody has an AR. Everybody has an AK. Like, I see them every time I go to the field. You just expect to see one. They're just something everybody has. Everybody's got one in the closet somewhere. I can tell you, almost no one has anything from the past. Even the Cold War era stuff, it can be really hard to find at times. Like the Vietnam FALs and the Cold War ALs, those like classic no rails, no attachment infos, like you never see those. I never see that old school stuff. So are World War II guns viable? Yeah, they are. Finding the upgrade ports or one that's solid out of the box can be difficult though. I can tell you from experience, I do have a lot of fun with them. So if you're willing to put in the little extra work, keep them maintained, running well, and tinker with them to get the performance up a little bit, then go for it. Who knows, other players might even see you with it and might think, hey, that's neat. Maybe I want to run one myself, and then they might even run it with you the next time you're on the field. And then you would have a buddy that's running it as well. And then you have two of you running World War II stuff, or Cold War era stuff, or anything like that. Because I've seen some clips on YouTube even where there's two buddies running the same old school FAL, because they found these old school things that just don't exist anymore. And the gas blowback, like World War II stuff, like the gas blowback MP40s, I never see gas blowback anything that's old school. I don't even know where you pick them up half the time because I think they go out of stock here and there. I can tell you some of the World War II stuff will be kind of difficult to use. One of the ones I was looking at was the grease gun. I've wanted a grease gun. I think they are just cool looking. They definitely look oddball and odd shaped though, so I don't know how well they'd actually be on the field. The other thing that's an oddball is the burn. If you've never seen that, it's an LMG with a magazine in the top that's known as like the weird magazine placement. They do have airsoft ones of them. That one's kind of odd shaped as well. So some of the World War II stuff is kind of like, will it actually look well against modern stuff? I don't know. The Sterling's not bad. I do like the Sterling. The magazines could be better, but I mean, you can't just buy a Sterling from anyone. I only know of the one Sterling that's on the market, and that's the 6mm Pro Shop one that I have. And the magazines aren't that good, but you can't get Sterling mags. They don't exist really on the market. So that's the thing with the World War II stuff. You just kind of get what you get sometimes with that, because of how odd they are. And the other thing with them is these magazines, you're going to have most likely a kit set up specifically to that rifle or SMG or whatever you pick, because the magazines aren't shaped like M4 mags or AK mags. They're usually really long and skinny generally on a lot of them, like the PSS-8s and the grease gun, for instance. So you might want to pick up like a World War II vest or pouches or something that'll fit it, or DIY something, because a lot of the modern stuff just isn't gonna fit them, because the magazines are they're kind of odd shaped. But I mean, when you get a unique World War II rifle, you kind of know that going in it, that they're unique for a reason. I mean, you don't see them for a reason because they're just really different. The other thing that's really cool about the World War II stuff and the Vietnam and the Cold War era stuff is there's a lot of cool like cosplay loadouts that you can find on the internet where people make like the old classic loadouts, and they look really neat. So you might be able to find some knockoff stuff too. If you get like the actual legitimate World War II stuff, it can be really expensive, but I'd imagine you could probably find some knockoff stuff or DIY something. I mean, it's airsoft. It doesn't have to be the actual legitimate World War II helmet or whatever. So, but some of the cosplays that people come up with these and build is really cool. Because I've seen some of the stuff where people go and actually like DIY stuff. I've made a World War II kit back in the day. I did the World War II Expeditionary Australian Regiment from Call of Duty World War II. One I did was the black. It was all black Australian Regiment with a gold trim on the sloop hat. which doesn't exist. It's a Call of Duty only thing because they like to do their own random vibrant colors and random stuff like that. So they had the classic default tan one, then they had a black one that I had, and then there was a red one. So I did the black one, and then I did a leather jacket that I just found at like a thrift shop kind of thing that actually looked very close to the one that was in the game. So if you go around to like, you can go around and just find stuff that is like a lookalike to still make the kit. Like, yeah, it might not be accurate to the actual thing, but I mean, the thing is, most players do like the modern stuff. So unless they look at like an image of like what the kit's supposed to look like, and then they compare it to your kit, most players aren't really gonna notice. I mean, I've seen a full World War II style kit on the internet where the guy had like, it looked like all World War II stuff, but then you look closer and he's got a modern first aid kit and then like a modern canteen once you look closer at it, but you don't notice it right away unless you like actually kind of look at what he's wearing because it blends in with the rest of the gear. So you could do like a old school looking kit, and even if you threw like one modern pouch or something on that, most players are probably not gonna notice. Especially when you're running around all over the field, they're gonna be too focused on what's going on around them. So it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, you can get away with making it look the part and still have it be like stuff you picked up at like some online shop or something. So you can easily get away with having a lookalike easily. I'd recommend going online and typing in on YouTube like DIY World War II loadout, and you can find videos on that. I forgot what his name was. I tried to find him, but there was this guy I used to watch. He'd go onto his local store and find just stuff that looked like what that was on the kit, and he was very good at making it look like the actual thing with just random oddball stuff at his local shops. I don't remember his name though. I went looking for him and I couldn't find him. He'd find like heavy coats and belts, and sometimes stuff was oversized and he'd make it work. So just go out online, you can probably find some other YouTuber that does like DIY loadouts and stuff like that stuff. Especially some of like the infantry and the officer uniforms. They don't really wear a lot. Some of those kits are pretty light, so you can get away with making one pretty easily. But yeah, the World War II stuff is definitely viable. You just gotta put a little bit of extra work into get them. And I mean, you don't have to have like an accurate kit. I mean, you can just find some pouches and just run with a hoodie or something. It's just hard to find pouches that'll fit them sometimes. That's the thing. With my stoling, I just put the magazines in my pockets because I wear SWAT team pants, and they have these massive pockets for like carrying like magazines and things like that you can just stuff anything in though, pretty much. So I just carry them. I just shove them in my pockets. But the actual stoling pouches, though, I mean, I can find them on evike.com. So Evike might have some stuff, but you can go on Amazon and type in pouches for whatever you're looking for, and I bet you can find something. Some of the airsoft like MP7 pouches or P90 magazine pouches might even fit them because P90 mags are really long and kind of thick. So you might be able to fit some of the SMG mags even though it's not like the right type of magazine holder. It might still work because they're big and chunky enough of pouches. But yeah, you could definitely run them. So I'd go on like Evike and check out, see what they have for World War II stuff. If you hit on the deal page, especially, Evike has a deal section. If you go on there, it'll list what's on clearance. So you might even find a World War II thing that's on clearance. I think I see World War II stuff drop on there every now and then too, because I think they try to get rid of them because it's not something that people just buy on average. So sometimes I think they get abundance of stock and they try to lessen the stock out. So I'd go on Evike and check the deals page. I have a link for that in my description. So you can go click that link and then see what they have. and you might find something on there. Evike's got tons of World War II stuff. I don't know about Gil. I didn't really look in the Gil section, but they definitely have AGs. That's why I picked mine up from was Evike. But anyways, that's all I have for you today. Go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more content. And I do have other channels. If you go to the homepage, scroll to the bottom, you can see all of my channels. That's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next one.
For the things you know.